Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Tattooed Mama. Today I want to talk about getting pregnant with PCOS, how I did it not once, but 5 times. This is my testimony to let you know that it is possible and don't give up just yet. I see you and I know your struggle because every single one of my pregnancies was a struggle up until my last one where I learned why I was successful in getting pregnant the other times. I'm going to start with the backstory first, so if you don't want to hear it, just fast forward to this part. When I was 17 years old, I went in for a normal athletic physical but came out diagnosed with a hormone imbalance and told, I don't know what your plans are for the future, but you should probably start accepting the fact that you might not have babies. When hearing this, I felt my chest sink down into my stomach and everything around me started moving slowly. So slowly to where I can still remember the features on my doctor's face. I remember she had short brown hair, brown eyes, mascara, powdered face, and really thin lips. And I felt my eyes move from her lips up to her forehead because I couldn't even make eye contact with her after hearing those words. As I tried to come back into reality, my thoughts were running everywhere. How could I not have babies my entire life? My plan was to have a big family. And now this person is telling me that that's probably not gonna happen. I was jumping from things like, what do you mean? Well, I'm not gonna accept it. What are the alternatives? What is a hormone imbalance? Do I still have eggs? Just everything you can think of was going through my mind. But the main thing was, what is a hormone imbalance? Then the way my doctor explained it didn't really make me feel any better either, because she said you have a higher amount of testosterone, and so my eyes bugged out, and she could obviously tell what I was thinking because she immediately said, it doesn't mean you're a man. Everyone has testosterone and estrogen, your body just isn't producing the correct amounts. So then my next thought was, well, how do I make myself produce the right amount? Mind you, this was 13 years ago and the term PCOS didn't really exist. I was not told you have PCOS. I was told hormone imbalance, these are your symptoms, blah, 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 here's what you need to do. It's still new even today, which is what really prompted me to do this video, because every single time I talk to somebody about it, they're like, oh my gosh, I have that same thing. Maybe I have PCOS. There just aren't a lot of experts on the subject. The only expert that I even found was Claire Goodwin, the PCOS nutritionist, my saving grace. I'm going to be talking about her more in a moment. Now, I didn't even realize that my hormone imbalance was in fact PCOS until I was pregnant with my 3rd child. I went in for an ultrasound and the ultrasound tech was like, oh my goodness, look at all of the little cysts on your ovaries. And I was like, what? She goes, well, they're not really cysts. You have PCOS, right? And I was like, no. And then after I left that appointment, everything started clicking. I was like, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Yes, I do have PCOS. So then at my next appointment, I talked to my gynecologist about it, and she goes, yeah, didn't you tell me you have a hormone imbalance and that's why you're so irregular? So now I have my doctor saying it and I'm like, okay, everything's starting to make sense. All right, I'm gonna have to stand. So long story short, I was prescribed birth control, and that was going to be the cure-all for everything that was going on within my body. I didn't just have extremely irregular periods, and I'm talking one every 8 months, maybe, but I had hair in places that it shouldn't be, trouble falling asleep, and I had the hardest time losing weight, even though I was always working out at school and outside of school. I mean, there was a point where I basically lived at the gym. I was obsessed with the gym. Fast forward to present day, and I'm here to tell you the doctor was wrong. For starters, so the first bit of good news is that PCOS is completely reversible. Yes, that's what I said. It is reversible. The key is to find out what the root cause of your PCOS is. I found mine with the help of the PCOS nutritionist. You can join her PCOS protocol group or get all the information for free on her podcast, which I will link down below. For me, it's weight. I'm able to get pregnant like clockwork every single time I'm under a certain weight. The problem is that it's really hard for me to lose weight, or at least it used to be until I learned that people with PCOS are usually insulin resistant. Now with me, the more sugar I eat, I also get extremely sleepy, and this is still the case even today. But I couldn't stop. I had just this uncontrollable urge to have a cookie, to the point where my husband was commenting on it consistently. And he is still like the little mosquito in my ear. Are you sure you want to have that cookie? So it became like this spiral effect. I would eat sugar, so I would gain weight, and then I would try to work out, but I'd be too sleepy from eating the sugar. Which brings me to my next topic, choosing an energy supplement. Although I made coffee at home, someday I would need a midday pick-me-up. So I would stop and grab a Starbucks coffee because it was in the same parking lot that I worked at. So I'd pick one up before going to pick up my kids and do the 2 to 3 hour drive home. Yes, I worked only an hour away, but by the time I picked them up, it would take me 2 to 3 hours to get home. But I noticed that on the days where I would get a Starbucks, I would have a really hard time staying awake on the freeway, to where every single time I would have to pull off the freeway and take a quick nap. Spoiler alert, it was all the damn sugar in the coffee. But I didn't know this yet. I honestly thought that I had developed like an immunity to the caffeine in coffee, and I needed something else. That's when I found Optimum Nutrition Amino Energy. This is not a sponsored thing. I'm just truly a fan. And this isn't even the exact one that I was taking. This one has electrolytes, and it's my husband's. I haven't purchased a new one for me once I found out I was pregnant, and since I'm still nursing, I just haven't grabbed a new one. But I will leave the correct one in the description box. So I started taking 4 scoops a day of the Amino Energy. I would make it in the morning, and I would just sip on it all day long until it was time to wind down for the night. And it would curb my hunger and give me the energy that I needed to get everything done throughout the day. After a couple weeks, I saw the scale going down consistently, but I still wasn't getting a period. But you don't need a period to ovulate. Now what I mean by this is you don't need to bleed. This is very important to note, because with this last baby, Forrest, I got pregnant in February of 2021, but I did not have a period since April of 2020. There are 2 theories here. Either this was my first time ovulating and I was going to shed my uterine lining that month for the first time in almost a year, or I had been ovulating the entire time and just not getting a bleed. Anyway, I was losing weight, but I was still pretty grumpy, and I could tell that I was grumpy because me and my husband were fighting a lot, and I was the one starting the fights, and it would just be for the dumbest things. I was just snapping, and he would tell me, like, what is your problem? Why are you so angry? But mood swings and being grumpy is also a symptom of PCOS. So after listening to the PCOS nutritionist, she put a really big emphasis on the importance of getting enough sleep. So I played around with my bedtime schedule and figured out that I needed 7.5 hours of sleep every night to be happy and pleasant and ready to start the day. At first, it was hard for me to get to sleep immediately. It would take me anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours sometimes. So I started doing a daily rhythm or routine. So I knew what I had to get done, in the morning, afternoon, at nighttime. That way by bedtime, my mind was relaxed and wasn't thinking about all the things that I needed to get done, and I was able to fall asleep faster. One of the other things that I did was I started listening to ASMR videos, specifically Maria from the YouTube channel Gentle Whisperings. Next, and this is going to sound so stupid, and I almost didn't include it in the video, but doing 10 long deep breaths before bedtime. And these slow deep breaths do wonders. If you haven't tried doing it, your mind and body just elevates to this completely relaxed state. But doing the long breaths also signals your brain to be like, oh, okay, there's no need to fight or flight right now. If we're able to stop and take these super long doses of oxygen, then that means everything's okay and we can relax. We can just, kick it. Now, I'm not sure when this book was released, but I followed Claire Goodwin's podcast pretty religiously when I was trying to get pregnant again. So as soon as I heard her mention it, I went on Amazon and I pre-ordered it in January. For some reason though, I didn't pick it up and start reading it until February of 2021. Now I love the way this book is set up because it's just really easy on the eyes and simple to read. Some of them have big fonts, there's big labels. It's kind of set up like a blog, really. So it wasn't daunting for me to read because I'm not a reader, but I loved this book. But I didn't even end up needing the book because when I started reading it, little did I know I was already pregnant with this baby. And I didn't find out though until April because again, I wasn't getting that bleed. So I thought like, no, there's no way I could be pregnant. My dad actually mentioned something to me. I looked at him and said, no, that's impossible. I can't, there's no way I can be pregnant right now. But anyways, so you don't need to purchase the book though, but it's such a great resource to have on hand. And I would recommend it 10 times out of 10. So if you have the spare cash, definitely get this book. Paper copy, last time I checked, was $30. That's how much I paid for it. But there's also the Kindle version, which is only 10. And then you guys, she has an Audible version of the book for only 13 bucks. But because I'm such a huge fan, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So 3 lucky winners are going to get a copy of this book, Getting Pregnant with PCOS, an evidence-based approach to treat the root causes of polycystic ovary syndrome and boost your fertility. So 3 lucky winners will be sent a copy of this book. And all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, comment with this secret emoji, and then click the link in the description below to enter the raffle. Every time this video hits 10,000 views, I will be doing a giveaway until the final giveaway, which will be done at 30,000 views. So share this video so we can reach that goal faster. Some other products I was using was by the company Pink Stork. And I grabbed their Pink Stork fertility bundle, which comes with this fertility tea. And it's all made with organic ingredients, which is cool. It also comes with these Pink Stork fertility candies. And then it also came with the vitamins. Now, I don't have the fertility pills anymore because I used them all. It's basically a mega prenatal with some other fertility ingredients included in it. So ingredients like chaste tree berries, ashwagandha, and some other things. I can't say for sure if these things, you know, helped, but the next time that I want to have a baby, I definitely will be using these again because I have just so much confidence in it, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And this is what I use, so that's just what I'm going to use again. After I became pregnant though, I switched over to their total pregnancy prenatal vitamins because it has all of the daily recommended values for pregnant and nursing women, plus the DHA. And I am a big fan of their products. They are women owned, they're Christian based, which is so cool. Well, I think that is the end of this video here. I'm certain there are things that I missed, but I will probably just make a part 2 if and when those things come to mind. If there are any questions that you have and I didn't answer, leave them in the comments so I can be sure to address those. And this was a really personal video for me. I'm not comfortable sharing these kinds of things, but I decided to do it because it's a surprisingly common question I get every time someone finds out that I do have PCOS. So I really hope this video helps you or someone you know that's trying to get pregnant, because if I had known what I know now, it would have saved a lot of tears and ton of upset. That's all I have for this video, so I will see you on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Ooh. And I would, oops, because I'm just looking at his eyes, they're so pretty. Hello?